Good morning, Dallas, Texas. I'm Anthony Cernilia with Ask the Expert radio show on Talk Radio 1190. I have the expert Tony Hall today from Paradigm Roofing. Today we are once again honored to be joined by Tony Hall, founder of Paradigm Roofing. And let's go ahead and get the number out there. That's 972-542-7774 or on the web at paradigmroofs.com. That's PARADIGM roofs.com. Once again, the number 972-542-7774. Without further ado, Paradigm Roofing is licensed with the Roofing Contractors Association of Texas. He is a member of the National Association of Home Builders, the U.S. Green Building Council, and a 3-time winner of the NTRCA Golden Hammer Award. Welcome back, Tony. How you doing?
Doing well. Thank you, Anthony.
During the last show, you educated our listeners about some of the misconceptions and common mistakes about roofing in North Texas. You also had some great advice about how to choose the right contractor, how people can protect themselves. Let's dive a little bit back into our conversation from the last time.
Okay.
What's the most common type of residential roof you see?
That would have to be composition roofing. Probably 80 to 80% of the homes across the country have composition roofs. Composition roof is nothing more than an asphalt-based granulated material. It's a shingle, okay? And those shingles obviously come in different sizes, types, colors, styles, etc.
Are there different kinds of composition shingles?
Absolutely. I like to classify them in 3 different categories. You have what we call strip shingles. Those are your lightweight shingles, 3-tab shingles. There's a few different types of them out there, but they'll generally be your lightweight shingles. They're thinner, not dimensional. Then your next shingles are architecturals. Those are dimensional shingles. They have a little bit more of a texture to it, and they come anywhere from 220 pounds a square, and they can get all the way up to 400 pounds a square. You can get them excessively heavy. And then the third category is designer shingles. And those basically imitate possibly a slate roof, a wood shake roof, and things of those nature. And there's just a plethora of different types of shingles out there that you can get on the designer side now.
Like the Spanish tile and stuff
like that? Yes, they even make one that has a tile look-alike as well.
That's awesome. All right, I'm assuming some of these are more expensive than others. I mean, generally speaking, right?
Right. When you get into different types of shingles, basically weight has a lot to do with it. Some of the designer shingles, just the manufacturing process of them, it's probably going to be more difficult, and so obviously there's going to be cost associated with the manufacturing process. So, but like an architectural shingle, you can get those at a certain price, but when you start getting into the heavyweight architecturals, there's more substance to it, and so they're going to get dramatically more expensive. And so basically a heavier weight shingle is going to cost more than a lighter weight shingle. Designer shingles will probably be, they're going to cost more just depending on the type of design that they have as well.
With so many types of asphalt shingles on the market today, what differentiates one from the next?
Different types of shingles is weight will have something to do with it. You have shingles that are impact resistant, solar reflective that we talked about briefly last week. But primarily weight, the look of them and things like that will, make the difference of them.
You had mentioned in the previous show that you always offer a good, better, best proposal to homeowners. Talk about some of the choices that are available to homeowners and what you suggest.
The different types of roofs, this is where you're going to get into, good, better, and best. So just for example, if we were to start off with just a basic roof, and if we're going to start off with an estimate, and you have a 3-tab roof on your home. So we're going to start off with the 3-tab with the same like kind. We'll give you an estimate on that type of proposal. From there, we'll go up to possibly an architectural shingle, which is going to take your warranty from 25 up to 50 years. And then from there, you can go up from an architectural to an impact-resistant roof. That one there has got some financial benefits to you, and you would have to call your homeowner's insurance policy or agent to determine, how much savings you're going to get off of that particular roof to see if it would justify whether or not you'd want to choose that roof. From there, you can go up to solar reflective. You can also look into some of the designer shingles. So these are some of the options, and obviously economics will determine some of this, and also whatever financial benefits that this type of shingle can bring to you.
And I'm guessing like impact resistance, perfect for hail damage.
That's correct. If you install one of those, supposedly it's impervious up to 2 inches. So if we receive hail balls of 2 inches or less, everybody else is getting their roof replaced while you're sitting back relaxing. And so, but the financial benefit of itself is enough to justify why you'd want to buy that. Generally, it takes about 3 years to break even on that type of roof. It's also going to increase the property value of your home. If you were to ever sell your home, you definitely want to talk about, hey, I have an impact-resistant roof on this home. And so that's a great selling point to your house. You don't want to ignore it.
Okay. And I guess like with solar reflective, that would be a solar type. I mean, is that actually going to give you electricity from that roof?
Solar reflective, basically what it is that they embed copper granules into the shingle itself.
Really?
So you get about a 65% reflectivity, which is just enough to convert that shingle into an Energy Star product. Obviously, if you buy an Energy Star product nowadays, the federal government gives you a tax credit. That's a dollar-for-dollar refund against your tax liability. So there's some financial benefits there right off the bat. On a solar reflective shingle, it's not going to be as efficient as, say, radiant barrier, but it will start to lower your energy consumption, okay, at 65% reflectivity, where radiant barrier is up to 98% nowadays. And then some of these solar reflective shingles also are impact resistant, so you're getting double benefits on these. All right, so once again, having a solar reflective roof, impact resistant roof on your home is something that's definitely going to increase the property value of the home, and it's something you're going to want to talk about.
Yeah, especially in Texas, being in one of the tornado capitals of the world. And also, there's a lot of sun here in Texas. So
absolutely.
The solar reflective would also be a good addition to anybody's home. In addition to shingles, what else goes into composition roof systems?
Obviously, what you do in the preparation stage of installing a roof is very important. And this should not be taken lightly, because it's the underlayments. How are we going to really protect your roof? Remember, shingles are just a water shedding type material. And if your prep work isn't done properly, you can end up with a lot of headaches. So nowadays, the underlayments they've increased tenfold, just like the shingles have. You have synthetic underlayments now that are Energy Star products. Most of the synthetic underlayments, even if they're not an Energy Star product, are going to be a light color. They're going to outwear a paper felt or a dark felt by 10 to 1. The light color is going to lower energy consumption because it's going to absorb the heat instead of pass it through. You have things like that. Nowadays, they've come up, instead of just roll roofing going into your valleys, they have a product called, Storm Guard or Ice and Water Shield. These particular products have what they call bitumen inside them. And what they do, when you nail through these type of products, they're self-healing. So any place you have a high probability of leak, you're going to put this type of product down against flashing walls, around chimneys, pipe flashings in your valleys, and they're all self-healing. They stick to the deck, so the chances of getting a leak there have been minimized greatly.
Now, I guess, do you yourself have a roof system that you like on your home? What kind of roof system do you have on your home? Is it reflective or is it impact resistant? Or
I have an impact resistant type roof. It's an architectural shingle right now. But when I did the roof originally, and I replaced the roof on my home about 4 or 5 years ago, what I did, I put a thermal barrier underneath it. Okay, what a thermal barrier is, it's similar to a radiant barrier. So I didn't have I wasn't going to rechange the plywood or anything at that time. It didn't need it. There's a product out there that basically acts as a thermal barrier, which is similar to a radiant barrier, and it has a reflectivity to it as well. I put that down as my underlayment, is what I did, and then I installed the roof on top of it. I utilized metal valleys and things of that nature inside there as well. So, but the thermal barrier is probably the biggest thing, and obviously I made sure it was properly ventilated, and my energy consumption is very small in that house because of some of the things I did to the roof system.
Is that, what do you call it? Is it a trade secret?
No, not at all. I would share this with any customer out there, and I educate them in the process. They have the opportunity to do the same thing, and no, it's not trade secrets. I try to treat every customer like it was my own home. This is what I would do.
All right. So if they want to call you, it's 972-542-7774, or you can go on the web at paradigmroofs.com. That's PARADIGM roofs.com. Once again, the phone number 972-542-7774. Moving on, you've just mentioned what goes under the shingle. However, when it comes to really making a roof stand out, What is the easiest thing a homeowner can do other than buying a really expensive shingle?
The easiest thing, in my opinion, would be put on a high-profile ridge. Okay, just by putting that on, it makes the roof kind of pop. It's a big difference when you go from one house to the next and you see a thicker type shingle on the ridges, and it just, like I said, it just really makes it pop. It kind of picture frames the home itself, and when you do that, you will spend a little extra money for that ridge. But as far as keeping the cost down without spending a lot of money on the shingles, ridge is one way to do it.
And I would think you're putting a roof on your home, that's almost like a security system for your house, if you ask me.
Right.
So, I mean, cutting corners would be not what you want to do. Once again, guys, I'm sitting here with Tony Hall with Paradigm Roofing. I'm Anthony Cernelia with Ask the Expert Radio Show. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back right after these messages. When it comes to roofing, there's only one company to trust for your home or business, Paradigm Roofing. When you need to replace your roof or you just need a repair, it's best to call the licensed professionals at Paradigm Roofing. Certified with all the top manufacturers, Paradigm provides the highest quality roof systems in the Metroplex. You can trust that they will get the job done right. Residential or commercial, Paradigm is the name you can trust. Award-winning, Paradigm Roofing is a member of the U.S. Green Building Council and proudly holds an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Call Paradigm Roofing today at 972-542-7774 or visit them on the web at paradigmroofs.com for a free consultation. Built with quality, integrity, and service, Paradigm Roofing, 972-542-7774. That's 972-542-7774. Or visit them on the web at paradigmroofs.com. That's paradigmroofs.com. Welcome back, DFW. I'm Anthony Cernelia with Ask the Expert Radio Show with Paradigm Roofing, and Tony Hall is our expert today. If you'd like to go to the web, it's paradigmroofs.com. That's Paradigm roofs with an S.com, or you can call them at 972-542-7774. All right, Tony, let's jump back into it. And during your last show, you stressed the importance of energy efficiency and ventilation. When building a composition roof system, how do you know if your home is properly ventilated?
When you get a roofing estimate, the representative should have knowledge to help you all along with this process. But basically, ventilation requirements are written by the International Residential Code Book. It's in the book. And so the minimum requirements require that you have 1 square foot of ventilation for every 300 square feet of attic space. So what that really means is that if you got a 3,000 square foot attic space, you're going to have 10 square feet of ventilation. All right, that ventilation has to be divided between 5 feet in the eave, which is your intake, and then 5 feet of your output, which is going to be turbines or power vents, et cetera, and things like that. So those are their minimum requirements. You cannot overventilate your home, and these are, this is how you calculate your ventilation in a home. The thing nowadays is that a lot of the homes, we have to stick our head up in the attic because they're so cut up. And you may have 2 or 3 different multiple attic spaces. So with that being said, we need to stick it up there. And each one of those attic spaces, you're going to treat independently. You just cannot put vents on top of a roof and expect the best out of that. So there is a little bit of a process to it.
And the vents being like the little things that turn on top of the roofs.
Right. You generally have different types of vents. Yeah, we classify our vents in 2 different ways. You have passive vents. Passive vents is basically you're waiting for hot air to rise, okay? And then you have active vents, and then basically they're going to create a vacuum in there. It's kind of like what you were just talking about. That's called a turbine, and we've seen those all over in houses all across the country for that matter. But a turbine is an active vent. A lot of people think that they spin because the wind has them spinning, but I don't need it spinning during the wintertime or when it's windy. I need it spinning when it's 110 degrees outside in Texas, and my attic is just burning up. And so what happens is that the turbine is a baffled design, and as the hot air passes through it, it creates that convection, which causes the turbine to spin. And so when it's 110 and not a breeze to be found, you look up, you see the turbine spinning, you know that's a properly vented house.
So that's just like the candle, like when you light the candle on your little thing, it turns it.
Absolutely. That's a convection that is creating. And so there are other things besides a turbine that creates convection or active vents, and that's they have what they call a baffled ridge vent nowadays. And so you put that on your home. If your home is eligible for that, that will create a vacuum inside your attic, which works extremely well. The other types of vents are basically, power vents. And then even to run those, they run off a little DC motors. But if it's properly vented, all right, you have to have a balanced system. Those will work. I hear customers complain, well, the power vents always burn up. They burn up prematurely because it's not a balanced system. If you create a balanced system, when I just said, if you got 5 feet of intake, you have to have 5 feet of outflow. If it's an imbalanced system, yes, those little DC motors will burn up on you. But when you create a perfectly balanced system, those little DC motors, they cost about $15 a year to run, and they will last for years.
Okay. What types of ventilation can be incorporated into a composition roof system?
Well, all of the ones that we just talked about. You have ridge vents, you have power vents, you have solar vents. So once again, we have to go into the attic, determine how much, how your attic is laid out and things of that nature, and we'll treat each one of those independently. So any of those, and like I said, sometimes there is a need for passive vents, and so you'll install those. So, but all of these type of vent systems can work, all right? Now, whether or not it's the best for your home is yet to be seen. So hopefully, if money's not too much of, during the time of roofing, all right, these are things that you can do to home at minimal cost. If you try to do this any other time, it does get expensive because you have to open up the roof and you have to tear off shingles and flash these things in. So the time to really worry about ventilation is during the roof installation, and it's very minimal cost. And you can really have some great benefits by reducing your energy consumption, improving the air quality of the home. Minimizing the risk of getting mold in your home, all right? Making sure that you don't void manufacturer warranties on your roof, all right? Making sure that you don't get...
That's a big one, isn't it?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge.
Well, so just out of 1 out of 10 roofs that you've done, how many people have gone and voided their warranty by doing something stupid?
Yeah, and it's not so much that they do something stupid. That's where calling the correct contractor. I mean, if you don't know, you don't know, all right? But... it's a contractor's responsibility if they're selling you a roof to make sure they don't void the manufacturer warranty for the customer. Okay. So if the manufacturer in their warranty, and it does say this in the fine print, that you have to have proper ventilation in that. If not, the shingles will start to blister and that tar will start to bubble up, and it starts to look like hail, even though it's not hail. And even when the insurance guys come out and look at it, they look around, they see that your home's not vented, and they know that this isn't hail, that your shingle blistered. So it's the roofing contractor that should protect you in this situation. And if they do a good job, you won't void that part of your warranty.
Okay, so let's get your number out there so they can call you, 972-542-7774, or you can go on the web, Paradigm Roofs, that's with an S.com, Paradigm Roofs with an S.com. Once again, the number, 972-542-7774. All right, so I have a friend that has a couple of hot rooms in his house. Both rooms have vaulted ceilings. It's literally 10 to 15 degrees hotter in these rooms than the rest of the rooms in the house. He has the AC company come out, and they couldn't fix a thing. Is there something that you suggest that could be done in the process of putting on a new roof that could help him?
Absolutely, and I've had this brought to me numerous times over the years. And primarily what happens here is that on a vaulted ceiling, you have a sheetrock that goes on the underside of your rafters. You have insulation that is embedded between the rafters. And then you have your deck that's going on top of that. So basically, it's sandwiched all together. This room is not breathing, okay? In the building process, if the builder thinks about it, what should have been done is that a baffle should have been put in that basically forces the insulation down and creates a breathable airspace in there. And so what we have done over the years is that we've opened that up, inserted the baffles, put the proper ventilation at the eave, put the proper ventilation at the peak, and this will solve the problem. But this is, yes, I've seen people where they call the AC, I'm not getting enough pumped into the room and stuff like that, and they can't solve the problem, and this is what the problem is. And so from this perspective, this is where I look like a hero. All right. So
I mean, you can probably save them. I mean, obviously, if it's 10 to 15 degrees hotter and, they call you and you're going to save them money more than less. I mean, not more than less. You are going to save them money because it's your AC system constantly runs at that point, doesn't it?
It does, but you mean to accommodate that room, you're going to make the other rooms uncomfortable at the same time. So it's not a matter of saving money. It's just getting it to work the way it was designed to work. This will solve the problem.
All right. As we've mentioned before, you're a member of the U.S. Green Building Council. What other things can be done to create more energy efficient roofs?
Well, during the time of roofing, there's a couple of things that possibly could be done. Your deck system, if every now and then that deck has to be replaced. After so many roofs, you start to deteriorate the deck just from, multiple roofs, multiple nails. Eventually, it's going to break down. So at that particular time, you could look into radiant barrier plywood. It's very effective. It costs a couple of extra dollars per sheet, and it's, very minimal cost. And this is basically like having radiant barrier underneath the rafters. It works because wood is a very permeable product, and that's why it works. So the half-inch of plywood is breathable, and that's why the radiant barrier plywood works, and it's very cost-effective. Some of the other things you can do is obviously we can install radiant barrier inside your attic. That is going to be the most effective way, to utilize radiant barrier is underneath the rafters. But on the same token, it's more expensive than putting radiant barrier plywood. So even though it's more expensive, it will be more effective, but the radiant barrier plywood works. The thermal barrier we talked about previously works as well. So these are some of the things you can do. During the time of our initial consultation with you, our representatives will climb up into your attic spaces. At that time, they're also making sure that you're properly insulated in there as well. Sometimes the insulation gets beat down. Sometimes it gets old. It needs to be sucked out. So they will also give you an opportunity to recommend, okay, hey, let's add it 6 inches. Looks like this is starting to wear down. So you'll get suggestions like that on how to make your home a lot more energy efficient as well.
And I bet you there's probably a lot of outdated stuff that's up there too that you could probably go in and just, like you said, be the hero and just put in some updated equipment in there and it just be like a snap of the fingers.
Well, on the insulation, yeah. I mean, nowadays they have spray foam insulation, so you can go that route. That's a little bit more expensive, but even though these homes, some of these homes, though, I mean, we get on homes that are 40, 50 years old that still has the original insulation in there. And truth of the matter is that needs to be replaced. It needs to be vacuumed out. And
because it breaks down, right?
Yeah, it breaks down. It gets old. It gets dusty. You're breathing this stuff.
Yeah.
All right. And so to change out your insulation now, then even if you go back with the same fiberglass blown in insulation, it's okay. But at least it's clean now.
All right, DFW, if you're in a 50-year-old or older home, maybe even 40 years, I would go ahead and call Tony out, 972-542-7774, or on the web at paradigmroofs.com. That's with an S, PARADIGM roofs with an S.com, or 972-542-7774. And I guess finally, Tony, we had mentioned during the last show that you're one of less than 300 contractors licensed with the Roofing Contractors Association in the entire state. When looking for a contractor to install a composition roof, what other qualifications should our listeners be looking for?
Well, having the license, in my opinion, is an accreditation to the company itself, and it kind of shows the public as well as, what if the contractor's taking his work seriously. So, I mean, those licenses don't come free. I mean, there are books that you have to read and you have to study, and sometimes they take months to prepare for it to become a licensed contractor in the state. So I do feel that's very important. You can check on the BBB for additional, customer reviews and things like that and see if they're accredited and things of that nature. Manufacturer certification is a good one to look at. The nice thing about this is that this provides a little bit of protection to you, the homeowner, when you hire a certified contractor from the manufacturer, because whether that contractor is in business or not, the manufacturer will stand behind that installation for years to come. Looking at association memberships like the North Texas Roofing Contractors Association, Roofing Contractors Association of Texas, the National Roofing Contractors Association. These associations do not allow their members in just at a drop of a hat. They go through background checks. They verify insurance. Some of these verify financials to make sure that they have the liquidity. They check on some of the company's suppliers to make sure that they're paying their bills. So these are all good things. So I would definitely look at association memberships. Industry awards is not a bad thing to look at too, because that's an attributed to the company's seriousness about how they take their business. And so if they have multiple awards and on roof installations and things like that, I think that's a good thing to look at. And then customer service awards. Most of these companies that have been in business for a while will have some sort of customer service awards that you can look at as well. So between all of these, proper insurance as well, I mean, these are all important factors. And if you do this, the chances of you getting burned are slim to none.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like our listeners to know today before we end the show, sir?
Just, hopefully everybody's learning something. And like I said, if anything's intrigued you, feel free to call the office anytime you like and talk to one of our representatives, and, we'll help you through this process. There's no fee for it, no cost, and we love helping you out.
All right, DFW, once again, get your pen out. It's 972-542-7774 or on the web at ParadigmRoofsWithAS.com. That's PARADIGM roofswithAS.com. Once again, the number 972-542-7774. Thank you, Tony, for coming out with us. I do appreciate it.
You're welcome, Anthony.
All right, I'm Anthony with Ask the Expert Radio Show on Talk Radio 1190, and we'll see you next week. Have a great day. When it comes to roofing, there's only one company to trust for your home or business, Paradigm Roofing. When you need to replace your roof or you just need a repair, it's best to call the licensed professionals at Paradigm Roofing. Certified with all the top manufacturers, Paradigm provides the highest quality roof systems in the Metroplex. You can trust that they will get the job done right, residential or commercial. Paradigm is the name you can trust. Award-winning, Paradigm Roofing is a member of the U.S. Green Building Council and proudly holds an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Call Paradigm Roofing today at 972-542-7774 or visit them on the web at ParadigmRoofs.com for a free consultation. Built with quality, integrity, and service, Paradigm Roofing, 972-542-7774. That's 972-542-7774. Or visit them on the web at ParadigmRoofs.com. That's PARADIGMROOFS.com.